Looking pretty good though. The lighting, really love that backlighting. That looks really sharp. We're gonna do more of that throughout the boat as we go on. But yeah, let's see what we look like going down here now. One more time, but so all this tape's gonna come off, and yeah, it's gonna be looking good here in just a little bit, and we're making good progress. Remember, way back when we tore all this apart. This galley overhead was more tore apart than it was together at times. There were times we felt like giving up. There were times we were lost and didn't know what to do. This thing was a disaster, waiting to be discovered, and we were the ones lucky enough to find it. But through it all, we prevailed, we stayed with it, we kept our faith, and we trusted in our processes. And man, that was a long time ago. That was like almost a year ago. Crazy. But yeah, we're getting there. I mean, we rebuilt this whole galley overhead. It was all rotted and cut it all out, put fiberglassed in new plywood treated with penetrating epoxy, and fiberglassed everything into place. And now we have a rock solid galley overhead ceiling area, and yeah, we're getting there. So let's see what it looks like here. We'll pull this tape, and with the tape removed, it's really starting to look complete now. It's really coming together, people. We're really happy with the progress on this. We have a few more steps to do with the galley overhead as far as the lighting goes and installs goes. A few more fixtures, but we're just about there, people. We have made it. We are there. We're through the hard part. The light is at the end of the tunnel, and we're headed there fast. But we've made really good progress, so I'm definitely happy with where we're at. All right. Welcome back to another exciting and thrill-filled adventure with DIY Nautical Dream.
Hi guys.
Hi guys. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
We're at it again.
Yep. Anyways, let's go straight to the topic. This week's update, we're just gonna be reassembling the galley overhead.
Yep, that's what we're gonna work on. We want to get that galley overhead put back together. And this time when we're talking about the galley overhead, we're talking about the large white box. That big ugly thing that was sagging down that we took down. It was all rotted, and we secured that back with penetrating epoxy, and it turned out pretty good. So we're gonna really try hard to put that back on. And then there's that white box that the overhead light goes on as well, that mounts up next to that box. This is going to be the first time putting those back on since we did all the fiberglassing and all the structural rebuild in there. So hopefully everything's fit back and the tolerances have been maintained, and we can get everything to fit. So that's what we're after, and we'll come back and let you guys know how we did, how far we made it.
All right, see you in a little bit.
All right, we'll see you guys in a little bit. All right, so today's project or goal will be, we really want to need to get this wire here. It's on the wrong side. It needs to be on the back side there. So, and part of the problem is we need to do something about all this wiring. I don't like it. I don't really, I just don't think this is good, but we got to put a cover back on this. We kind of have to put that off. We got to put off fixing this right for a later time. And of course, we should always take the time to do it right the first time, but we got other projects going on, and we just need to close this area up for now and make it to where we can be done with the galley, and we'll come back to this wiring mess at another time. But for right now, we need to get access up there so that we can shift all this out of sight. Let's see how that works out. Anyways, that's where we're at. So we're going to go up here and remove this this cover right here is what all that wire goes to. So let's see here. So it's a good sign when the screw doesn't come out all the way. You know what? I have a pretty good idea what that means. That means that hole is blown out on the back side. Okay, fine. Another thing I need to do is I need to mount that bilge pump switch right here. I'm not sure what this is, but I like to see if I can make that go away. And if that can go away, then that'd be a good spot to put the bilge pump switch. So, all right, let's see what's back here. Oh, of course it still wants to hold though. What a mess. What a mess. Can we just pretend we didn't see all that? Well, anyways, on the lighter side, I already knew this was there because I've already started identifying some of these wires before and re-terminating them. But please, if you have a boat, car, motorhome, whatever, don't do this to your electrical. Save it. Let somebody else do this. This is just, I mean, look at that. Look at that. That is just crazy. Crazy stuff. So there's that socket right there. I wonder what, that's nice. I bet that was working real well. So I wonder what all, see down, you can see down here, down into the galley. So this is the wire we gotta relocate. Oh, that's nice. I don't even have to cut it. I can just undo those terminals. Okay, that'll make it easy. But yeah, it's a pretty wild electrical mess. So I've already started doing some of them, and then what my future plan is, I'm gonna put like a terminal board in here, and I'll run the wires to that, and then have them coming off of that onto a harness here. And I think that'll make it easier, a little bit neater and cleaner down the road. But for now, we're just gonna try and figure out what all's going on in here. What is this? Huh. I wonder what that box is for. I'm more curious as to what this thing here is. So it has wires that come off of it. Let's see. So these wires come off and they go to, right here. And that is the second switch down. Navigation and floodlights, huh? Believe it or not, those actually work. Huh. But I don't know what that box is back there. Interesting. Alright, well, we'll figure that out later. Anyways, I just kind of want to give you an idea what's going on back here. What a mess. This is all gonna happen. Okay, so now we have moved the wires, and they're all on the back side of this cutout now, which is where everything needs to be, because there's going to be that big white cover right there. We're going to do a test fit on that now, and that's going to come all the way out to right about there. So we're going to see what that turns out like. But don't get me wrong, I'm not real comfortable with this wiring right here. I don't like it at all. that we're gonna have to come back to that at a later time. Everything these are hooked up to actually works. I've tested it all out today. So those all work, but it's a bird's nest up in there, so it needs to be sorted out at another time. Today's not gonna be that day. So what we're gonna do now, oh, we did relocate the bilge pump control switch up there also, so that's now in the cockpit area, which is a good thing because that's where it belongs. That's weird, you know. We bought this boat and there's no way to turn on the bilge pump from inside when you're out at the helm area. There's no way to turn on the bilge pump, which that's where you really want to have access to it, but instead you had to come all the way down inside to the breaker panel and turn on a breaker switch to be able to have the bilge pump active. And then they relied only on a float switch to activate it. There was no manual control at all. So we fixed that. Now we have float switch and we have manual control of it. Plus I'll have a light now that comes on when the bilge pump comes on the float switch. So at the helm, you kind of want to know when your pump's coming on, I would think. So it gives you a warning before you take on too much water. Or it lets you know that your bilge pump's cycling on and off quite a bit, and then you need to go look to see what the source is of the leak. But anyways, we have that now, but we didn't have it before. So next thing is we're going to go ahead and try and fit this this big white panel up here, the cover. We're just going to do a dry fit and have an idea what it looks like. So that's what's coming up next. All right, we'll see what it looks like. You get to watch me struggle here. So we're gonna go ahead and, this is just a test fit. We haven't had this back on in a long time. So we just want to test fit it and see how things go back together. It was a really painful experience. It was very painful to get it apart, that's all I remember. And it's proven to be painful going back together. I keep telling myself there's gotta be a better way to do this. We'll see here, am I? Well, I'm not real thrilled with it. It's not proven to be going together any easier than it did when we took it apart, especially right here. This is very tight. It's not being user friendly, so we didn't expect it would be. I was hoping it would. Wanted to get lucky on this, but it seems like we're pretty well lined up there. I didn't clean off the old seal on here because I wanted to make sure we went in far enough, and that was where the old seal kind of ran a bead here. So this only needs to go in just a tiny bit there. But down on this end, you can see we're still pretty far off. So, and this end was really hard to get out last time as well, so it's proven to be consistently difficult. So anyways, we'll keep working on it. And yeah, I have some ideas that maybe we could build a new one of these boxes. I don't know how much I want to get bogged down into that kind of a project right now. So there's a lot of things that are kind of coming up that may determine our direction on this. We may just put it together for now and then develop the idea later. All right, I gotta turn the camera off. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of convincing with something heavy and solid. I'll be back. We're gonna use the plywood for the hammer to hit against the plywood and not the good surface that we want to protect. And this will be okay. Looks like we're where we need to be there. And all right. So that's how we convince it to go in, and that way we don't damage anything except for the surface of the plywood here. And then I try to focus the energy into an area of where there's a corner, because this is just plywood. I think it's like 1/2 inch thick plywood or something. I treated it with penetrating epoxy, and that's done a really good job of fixing it up to be nice and solid now. I think we're good. So what I need to do now, I need to check see if our holes line up. So we have this nice little tool here. So that goes in pretty far. Is that how deep though? See, I don't really think we're, now this one, that one feels like it's in the right spot. Feels like, if you see the angle of the awls pointing it, feels like everything needs to go down this way just a little bit. We're gonna try and do a little bit of convincing that direction. But the original reason why we took this out was because this was sagging down like this, gapped in the corner here. And what it turned out to be was the whole overhead up here was all just rotted to pieces. And it came out wet and in handfuls. So yeah, we got footage of that. So anyways, let's but this is all new. It's all new plywood up there now, so all fiberglassed, and it's all in really nice, but nobody will ever see it. So we're gonna go ahead and see if we can get this lined up and maybe get a couple screws in it to hold it. We'll see what's up. Let's see how this goes here. That one's no good. We'll get another one. All right, stand by. See what we can do here.
A few moments later.
All right, we got the one very aft. Got this one in right here. Had to drill a little bit, get some, open up a hole. It's up in there. Because we did do some glass work up there when we were putting the new structure in, so the screw may have been just, you know, trying to hit that glass and not going through it, because I did build it pretty stout. So hopefully that's what was going on up in there. See what happens with this one here. This one's kind of an important one because this one really holds it up. So we'll run it in that far. Then we're going to tighten the rest of it by hand just so I can feel what it feels like when it's starting to tighten up. Okay, that's up there. And then one more hole right here we got to put in there just to make sure it's all in place really good. That's where we're at there. Let's see if we can get a different vantage point for the camera. See what the camera sees here. So we got one last hole right here. I think we need to try and go straight up. Let me get the drill. Another battery died, so we'll get on the charger. Okay. we'll see what happens here. We got a plan B. If for some reason this assembly doesn't go well, I have a plan B, which I want to do anyways, but I'd kind of like to not do it today if we don't have to. Let's see what happens here. Hopefully this screw will bite nicely. There we go. We'll just tighten the last little bit by hand. Make sure we got a good... There we go. That's that. So that's pretty tight. We could probably live with that. I think we're back together. Let's see how the job turned out. All right, so we got that. It's all nice. See, before this was hanging down and all gapped up here, and then what they had here before was like 5200, some kind of a silicone seal around here. So we might go back and do that again just to take care of that little gap right there. But yeah, so that's what that looks like. And then they have covers that go over the screws here, so we may put those back on. And then you can see here where some of the seal was left on, and I just left that on. It'll come right off. I left it on just because I wanted to kind of use it as a marker of how far in this way I needed to push it before we started trying to install the fasteners. So that's where we're at. It looks like it went in. It looks like, yeah, it looks like it's a nice tight installation. So I almost think we're gonna go with it for now, but I'm not sure. I really have a better idea to put in here, but I don't know if now is the time, if maybe we come back to that at a later date, just because there's other things that need to be worked on. So might just do that. I don't know, we'll see how this works out. I guess we'll go with this for right now and then see what happens in the future. And I don't know, maybe if I can't clean this back up, then maybe we just take it off and build the new one. I was thinking about building a new one anyway, so I don't know. We'll keep moving on with the installation. There's a trim piece that goes up in here. Well, all right, so now we're gonna go ahead and focus on installing this. And we got one screw in the process of locating the next one. Okay, so now it's in there, but not real solid. So what we're gonna do now is tighten by hand, because it's just wood on the back and it's been used a few times. I don't have a high degree of confidence that the threads are real solid in that wood, but we'll go with it and see what happens. What I'm curious is if the doors are gonna hit these screws, the screw heads. Well, that's in, and that one's in, so we'll see what happens. I'm worried about the top of the door hitting the screw heads, but we'll see what's going on here. Well, we got plenty of room. See the nice gap there. All right, so we're good there. Nice. If you see here, something I would like to fix sometime down the road. See the gap here? And then look, turns into nothing up here at the top. And then the gap here goes into nothing at the bottom. One day we're gonna get to that. Now this one, this side here, see the gap? Remains fairly constant all the way down. So this side doesn't need the attention. It's just this door over here. I don't know what you do in that situation, but one of these days we'll take a look at it. But for now, we're not gonna sweat it right now. So we've got other things to worry about. But that's where we're at on that. So I think we can tighten these down because there's nothing back there. I remember took this off a long time ago because I wasn't sure if there was something back there behind that plate that was going to prevent us from getting this access off, but that's where we're at. I have the piece that broke out of here. It's taped right in here. When we're done messing with this all together and we know that everything's the way we want it, I'll put that back in. I can seal that back in there with some a little bit of thickened epoxy, and if I do it really well, I can do it in such a way that nobody really even knows that that was ever out. So, but we won't do that right now because I think we're gonna have this off and on a few times for electrical upgrades and things like that. That's where we're at. Next thing we'll do is we will go ahead and get that trim piece back on there, and then we'll see what we got to do to get this cover back on. Anyways, maybe we can have this galley wrapped up pretty soon. That would be nice, really nice. Anyways, looking pretty good though. The lighting, really love that backlighting. That looks really sharp. We're gonna do more of that throughout the boat as we go on. But yeah, let's see what we look like going down here now. If you can look at it and imagine that you don't see the wires hanging down, the galley's starting to look pretty good. Plus, try not to see the mess down here, but it's a work in progress for sure. But look at that's looking pretty good. All right, continuing on. Well, it's been a while since we've seen this part here installed. So that took a little bit of work. That was not plug and play. It didn't go back in any easier than it came out, and it didn't come out very easy. But if you look, the galley is really beginning to take shape again. So we're starting to make some good progress, and now we have this back. It's back mounted up in there, nice and tight. Got the trim, this piece back in place. That didn't go in easy. Nothing's going back together easy, that's for sure. But I didn't really expect it would, because if you remember, all this overhead plywood was all rotten and removed, cut out. New stuff was installed. It was put in with fiberglass over it. And anyways, so you know the surface is a little bit thicker. You know, there was no holes in there, so I had to drill new holes, locate everything, and yeah. So it's going back together, just not easy. It's making me earn it the whole way through. One of the next steps will be to relocate this, which is another box that goes over here and a light mounts to it. And that's not going to be easy either, because we have new structure in place, so none of the holes will line up. And so it'll be a pain all the way through. Then there's going to be a light that mounts over this as well. I have a plan. I almost didn't install this today, and instead I was going to go with the new plan, but we're going to put that on hold for right now, and then we'll come back to this at a later date. We got other projects we need to knock out. I bought the materials to do what I want to do here, but for right now we'll leave that as an unknown, and we're not going to try and tackle that project right now. Just too many other things going on, and I want to get this galley cleaned up. I know Baby wants to get this galley cleaned up really, really bad, so you know, I need to finish all the stuff on the overhead so that she can come in here and do what she wants to do. And so I don't want to have any screws or little bits and bobs and pieces here and there that get thrown away. So I need to be done in this area so she can come in and make it look all nice again, like she had it before I got here and made this horrible mess. But one thing's for sure, we're starting to have a really nice looking galley again. So it's coming together. Pretty happy with that. It's starting to look nice. So we'll turn it around and we'll see what it looks like from this angle. So yeah, it's starting to look pretty good. The plan is to install. All right, so let's make a small little hole there. Gotta check our fit. I don't think this is real precise, but we want to get it at least close. That's tight. Tight. Okay, so now, luckily we've marked these when we were taking it apart. We'll know where everything goes when we're putting it back together. All right, let's see how this goes. Now we want to go a little bit tighter. All right. Okay, so those are nice and tight. Next, we gotta do the same thing down here. All right, so now we've gotta I guess we need the drill. Now some of this is going to be guesswork, and because when we pulled the vinyl back to staple everything into place, we used a heat gun, stretch the vinyl, so these original holes are not where they used to be. So what do we use? We use short screws for now, because if we have to move it, then we don't have to worry about full depth holes. Yeah, it'd be nice to have this back together. This has been apart for a very long time. All right, so what we got going on here is we just finished mounting these, installing these mounts for the overhead, the galley overhead light box, light fixture, retainer, whatever. Anyways, it's a cover basically that covers up this is a motor for the winch up on top, up on the deck there. So this is just a cover for that, and then there's going to be a galley light that mounts on here. So we got the mounting brackets installed, and then one of the next things we'll do is, I don't know, we'll have to install this. We'll have to install this at some point, so we'll see where that goes. All right, anyway, here's going to be the test. Okay. Well, that's interesting, huh? Let's see. Wouldn't that be cool? If the actual holes, that one actually lines up. Pretty cool. Well, let's see what happens here. All right, we'll be back. All right, so we have that screw started. We got to locate that one still. Got a nice tight fit along here. And let's see. Got a nice tight fit there. Got that screw started. Still need to locate that one. And there's no screws on that aft side there. So, but we have a nice tight fit all along here. So I like that. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and locate those. So which side do we want to locate? We'll go ahead and locate this one here. Okay. Let's see what happens there. Okay, it's in tight. All right, so that's in. It's in good there. I don't think we're going to be able to complain about that. It's good enough for us. Well, you get the general idea of what's going on anyway, so I'm going to locate that one next. Seems like there might already be a hole there. Okay, there, that's good. Make it a little bit tighter. Okay, that's in. Seems like these ones down here could go a little bit tighter. But all in all, that's pretty good. So that's what we got here. Let's take a look. So we got that one just now mounted, that one, and we did that one and this one. Take that off. So that's where we're at. Yeah, nice tight fit on the back side there. So that's good. Right on. All right, let's take a look. Back up a little bit. And of course, you know, all the vinyl needs to be wiped down with some vinyl cleaner. But yeah, the galley's starting to be back in business. So that's pretty good. But yeah, so as far as this goes here, putting this big cover box back on, and the light housing down there, and then the next one's going to be to locate the light for here. Done. And we still have to put the trim in, but then we're basically done in the galley, really, for all the work that we did there to tear apart this overhead. I mean, if you remember way back, we just had this totally gutted down to open fiberglass area, and then rebuilt it because of all the rot that was going on in there, and this was kind of hanging down. This here was also rotted. I coated the inside. I sanded it and then coated the inside of the plywood in here with penetrating epoxy, several coats of it, and it's rock solid. That penetrating epoxy, good stuff, very good stuff. I will continue to use that, and I will say that I'll recommend it, that it's a good thing to use when you have plywood that has been exposed to water, that's kind of a little bit softer than it was when it was new. You can save it. In a lot of cases you can save it, not all cases, but in this situation it worked, and we didn't have to rebuild this. We were able to save it, and didn't fiberglass inside or nothing, but it's very, very solid now. So we're very happy with that. See, that I didn't treat this, and this still has a lot of flex to it, but it wasn't rotted either, so I just decided not to do it. But so yeah, we'll clean this stuff up. I have some really good vinyl cleaner, and we'll use that, and it'll look a lot nicer. And then we'll cut the pieces of trim that are going to hide this seam here, and we'll have to do the same thing here on this one. And yeah, it's gonna be nice. It's getting there. We are close. So far today we installed this, we installed this back here, and we're getting a little closer to calling the galley good. So yeah, it's awesome. Going along really nice. Very happy with that. We've just located the mounts for this and have this actually installed today, and we'll pull it back off one more time. But so all this tape's gonna come off, and yeah, it's gonna be looking good here in just a little bit. Man, we're making good progress. Remember way back when we tore all this apart, and man, that was a long time ago. That was like almost a year ago. Crazy. But yeah, we're getting there. I mean, we rebuilt this whole galley overhead. It was all rotted and cut it all out, put fiberglassed in new plywood treated with penetrating epoxy, and fiberglassed everything into place. And now we have a rock solid overhead galley, or galley overhead ceiling area. And yeah, we're getting there. So let's see what it looks like here. We'll pull this tape, and we'll do a little bit of cleaning, and we'll get this remounted and see what we have. These pieces are pretty much the final stages of the galley overhead, and we have a few more lighting fixtures and boxes we need to put in. But other than that, this galley overhead is just about complete. We're almost there. Man, it's been a long haul, but sure is good to see it coming together. Alright, so here we are. We took a bunch of the blue tape off. You can really get a good idea of what it's starting to look like in here now. It's starting to look pretty good. The bad news, see the arrow here, and the purple, yep, the blue tape, it bled through for some reason onto the vinyl, and yeah, and then here too, so I can't get that off, so we're gonna have to live with it for now until I can figure out a way to get that off of there. For some reason, I don't know why, the blue tape bled through on here, and I guess this don't write on blue tape when it's on a vinyl surface. Maybe that's part of the problem. I don't know. But anyways, I guess that's some good talking points for down the road when people ask, hey, what are those arrows there for? What arrows? I don't see any arrows. Are you sure you see them? So anyways, whatever. We'll figure it out. I can always make a new box. I can even revinyl this box if I really feel like it's bothering this. So we'll see what happens. But for now, it's gonna stay the way it is. So all in all, we're pretty happy with this. Used blue tape many times. I've never had that happen before, so it's kind of odd. I don't know, but if anybody's got any ideas, let me know. I tried a little bit of bathroom cleanup spray with a little bit of bleach in it. Didn't even do anything to it, so I don't know. It might be stuck permanent and we just have to revinyl it, but we've made really good progress, so I'm definitely happy with where we're at. All right, so a quick question for you, the viewer. You've been following along with us this far. You saw everything we've gone through with the galley, how it started out and where it's at right now. What do you think of how it's looking? Do you think this is looking good? Or is it missing something? Or should we go maybe a little different direction? Just like to hear your thoughts and comments down below if you have anything to say. Love to hear from you. Thanks. So I'm running a string down the center line here so I can try to keep all the teak trim is closely in line with each other and make it somewhat pleasing to the eye when we look at it, so it doesn't look all choppy and, you know, misaligned and all that. So, and of course we still have to locate some of the new pieces. We don't have them cut yet, but trying to identify center so all the pieces will follow. And so we have that marked, and anyways, all the way down to the end here. So that'll work. Now we just need to get all the rest of the teak cut and put in place. And then one of the next dilemmas we're gonna have to deal with is I'm running out of edge over here to place this. If I was going to have it running in line, see, it doesn't work. It just doesn't. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I can cheat it over a little bit, but I think we're going to be having an opening showing over here though, so we'll see. I will try and explain why we're running this string from the main salon all the way to the aft wall of the galley. As the boat tapers from forward to aft, the beam gets narrower, so the outside of the hull has a curve, a slight contour, as it tapers narrower towards the aft. We want to have these teak strips, we want to have those in alignment as much as we can, but because the hull gets narrower and it actually starts to curve. So the string is trying to give us the best way to kind of get all that in alignment and cheat it sort of inward at the same time. It'll all make sense a little bit once we get everything installed, but that's what we're trying to do there. One of the other problems we're trying to deal with at the same time is the new teak light base that we're going to be installing is pretty much impossible to get on center with the string line. And so we're going to have that off center a little bit. Visually, that annoys me. I don't know if I can deal with that. It's just one of those things, but we're going to try and figure it out. So that's something we're working on as well. All right, we're back. What do you think, baby? How do you think that looks?
I think it looks... hang on 1 second. What about you guys? What do you think?
She has a little bit of doubt about the work.
Oh, come on,
man, that could have hurt a little bit.
Of course, and it looks good because you made it.
Oh, thanks. She must want a hat.
No.
All right, yeah.
I got lots.
So anyway, seriously though, yeah, we were able to get those back together. It did not fit as easily as we hoped it would, just because everything's all built up a little bit thicker and stronger than it was before, and nothing's rotted, so everything's solid. So, but we got it in there, and it looks okay. It looks a little bit kind of like IKEA stuff. So no, it turned out all right. It turned out okay.
You gotta remember, nothing's easy.
Yeah, nothing ever comes easy. So it turned out pretty good. We're happy with it, and so we accomplished what we were after, and I think it was a successful time here. So
if it's easy, he's not doing it.
Yeah, pretty much. If it's easy, somebody else has already done it. So anyways, that's where we're at. So we were able to get that done pretty good.
Slowly progress,
yeah.
But we are glad we are enjoying the progress we made.
Oh yeah, it's nice to see it coming back together, and instead of tearing something apart, we're actually, man, we've been in that galley for a long time. So yeah, it's nice to see that back together, and it's better than it was when we first looked at the boat before we even bought her. So it's nice to have that back in.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys.
Yes, thanks so much for watching. We really appreciate it.
If you are not subscribed yet, please subscribe down below.
Right there.
See you.
See ya. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. We appreciate each and every one of you.
Thanks for everything.
Yep. See ya.
Bye.
Bye. Man, if I only hit record.